It really begins with the Hands and Feet Project, who had care of Wildaline in Haiti and helped make a tremendous effort to get her from where she was to here in Miami.
Hands and Feet Project is an organization that currently works in Haiti. We started in 2004. We have a couple of children's homes, but one of our main priorities there is the fight to keep families together. So we do work hand in hand with the social services of Haiti. There is always the cases where there's children that cannot happen. They're either abandoned or they've lost their parents, and then they end up within our children's homes. Wildaline is a little girl. She was being cared by two ladies who noticed something going on with her face and had taken her to a local clinic. And over the course of time, it just started growing. So the doctors thought, something it really isn't right here. And so she had CAT scans done and everything. And the first conclusion, without a biopsy, they thought it was sarcoma. And so they let the ladies know, and they decided that they didn't want to care for her anymore. At that point, the clinic said, hey, we can't let this happen to this little girl because she still has a fighting chance. And so they started contacting different organizations, and they contacted us and said, hey, would you all be willing to help a little girl that could possibly have cancer? We hired a caregiver, just a one-on-one caregiver, and she made many trips to the Capitol to get biopsies done, which never happened. She made at least 4 trips to see a doctor that never showed up. Over the course of time, the mass just grew and grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where something had to be done. And so the clinic, actually, one of the doctors contacted the one person in Haiti that they thought could help, and he said, there's nobody here that can do this in this country.
I have been to Haiti many times, and I've been involved in Haiti both as a surgeon myself in terms of operating on patients there, as well as training surgeons there. And we have a wonderful training program that we've run in Haiti.
The nation of Haiti is in free fall. Just 600 miles off Florida's coast, the country that is no stranger to struggle is facing a confluence of humanitarian, security, and political crises. Millions do not have enough food. Cholera is spreading. Gang violence has reached previously safe areas, and the government appears powerless to provide solutions.
The socioeconomic collapse of the country is so real. The Haitian people are struggling so much right now that the resources available for her care are limited. There are some great hospitals in Haiti. There are some great physicians in Haiti. But just finding fuel to get to these hospitals can be a challenge. So not only did she have this massive tumor which was affecting her life, but the ability to get to care and have sustainable care given this situation made it so much more complex for her to receive care in Haiti.
We decided it was time to try to get her to a hospital. We flew her by helicopter because there was no way to get to the Capitol because all the roads were blocked. And we got her there and they wouldn't take her. They said she has to have cancer in order for us to take her. So they wouldn't take her. So she went by ambulance to another hospital, and the same doctor that was supposed to see her before, again, a no-show. And at this point, the doctor that was caring for her, which is an American doctor, was flying back to the States. And so she came to Port-au-Prince and decided, I'm canceling my flight. Sorry. And I'm going to stay with her.
I first learned about Wildaline from a phone call that I got. And it was one of our community's physicians who called me. and said, Chad, I know you're involved in Haiti and have a passion for helping in Haiti. There's a child who needs your help, who needs your hospital's help. Can you get involved? And as I heard about the details on this phone call, my heart immediately swelled with the desire to reach out and help her.
She first was presented to us with some pictures that were sent via electronic mail. And we could see that even over the course of a couple of weeks, the size of this was growing significantly. We knew that in a short period of time that the mass would get to be of a size where it would block her breathing and present an airway risk. So we recognized that surgical treatment was very important to perform on a very rapid time scale.
The tumor had started to grow so fast that the team in Haiti anticipated she had perhaps a day to live.
Global Health and Nicklaus Children is a department that works specifically for international patients. We have referrals from all over the world, and mainly due to our geographic location from the Caribbean, Central and South America. And this young lady was a very special one. We needed to act in a timely manner, following procedures, following protocols, yet delivering the best care in the right time for the right patient.
We had already gone through doing the visa process with the U.S. government and everything, and we're still waiting, but we were able to get basically like a life flight to come and escort her here to the States with the doctor that had been caring for her while in Haiti. I had asked her, what would you have done if she didn't get back? And she said, the only thing I knew of was to take her back to our clinic and let her be as comfortable as possible.
The Hands and Feet Project did an incredible job in terms of organizing the necessary resources, the air transport, the legality of such, to bring her to Miami.
Behind the scenes, something you don't see, there is a whole team that screens all the requests. We go through medical triage, and when we assess that the situation was critical, we acted in a very smooth and fast way in order to make it right.
The patient came across multiple people's desks at the same time, and there was an urgent need behind her care. Thankfully, here at Nicklaus Children's Hospital, we have the Patient Assistance Fund. So we already have the governing body set into place. So we were able to quickly evaluate her case and what it looked like, assess that we were able to take care of the patient in totality, and saw the sense of urgency and got her here right away.
It wasn't until we got her here and did complex three-dimensional scans to look at her bones that we could see how involved the tumor was and how much it had destroyed her really entire facial structures.
We looked at this case in the same sort of light that we would look at in a lot of other congenital cases. We get a lot of children into Nicklaus Children's Hospital with problems that even stemmed from birth. And so we said, again, how can we take a page from some of our congenital cases that we're getting on a more routine basis and then use that to apply to this case. So, and this relates to how we would plan the incision, how we would cut the bone in certain areas, what approaches were we very familiar with from prior cases to be able to get around this and again, hopefully remove in one piece, as we call it in surgery, en bloc resection, which for a case that could potentially have been a malignant mass is important to try to get everything in one contained piece without spreading it. So I'm going to show two models here. One is a representation of what this mass looked like prior to surgery. You can see this was prepared on a homemade 3D printer that we have here at the hospital in the Advanced Projects Lab. And this large colored mass here is coming and involving the upper jaw. And there are teeth here within this tumor. And this was very helpful, again, to look at from all perspectives to see how we were going to get around this and what bones needed to be sectioned and removed in order to allow us to take this out. Once the tumor was removed, we were then looking at having to provide some stability or structure so that the facial soft tissues on top of this bone wouldn't simply collapse into a big void. Once we had removed the tumor and had taken some bone from the skull to come across for some structural support, we then obtained a post-operative scan. And that also was printed in the lab here and gave us some perspective on how everything came together. And you see, as I put the lower jaw into place, you can see that we're able to provide this support for the upper jaw, and this shows us what we achieved there. We're very pleased with what we're able to restore. And then as this child grows and as she heals from this operation, we will then direct our attention to having some prosthetic replacement for her that would include essentially a denture or something to support. You can see on top here as well, it shows the areas where we borrowed the bone and then filled in with some bone graft so that she does not have any abnormality that you can feel. With this tumor having been what we call a juvenile ossifying fibroma, essentially it's a benign tumor, but it can act very aggressively in the place where it arises. So there have been a number of cases where the tumor grows back in the same spot and further surgeries are needed, so she will need to be monitored. And that may come both with regular exams at the doctor's office to follow her clinically, but then also scans initially perhaps on a 6-month basis and yearly basis to see that there's not any sign of recurrence. We're very optimistic that we've removed everything certainly that we can see in a fairly aggressive manner so that hopefully she will not have the tumor recur in that spot. But now, with her doing so well, fortunately, we can turn our attention to those other social aspects and things that come along with her development.
The team at Nicklaus Children's was unbelievable from when we first raised her story to when we knew we could get her here and be able to perform her surgery.
When you're called to execute, that's what the team did. I believe if we didn't act so quickly, very likely we will not be here celebrating this beautiful story today.
It is incredibly moving knowing that we were the only ones able to immediately respond yes. And having the Patient Assistance Fund in place has been life-changing for so many kids. And we could not do it without the support of our community. To be able to have a tiny piece of that is the best thing I've ever done.
Wildaline's case was perhaps the best example of teamwork across the board that I have seen really in my whole career. So to get everyone mobilized to put this effort into play was nothing short of spectacular.
Our hospital photographer, Edgar, took a photo, which has become now one of my all-time favorite photos. And he just captured this moment the day she was leaving the hospital. And her backpack was packed. There was a bear kind of sticking out of the backpack, which is our Nicklaus bear that someone had given her. And she was in front of the elevator doors. And just this beautiful symbolic photo was captured as the elevator doors to her new life were about to open.
Wildaline is a very bright-eyed, energetic young girl, and I think that she has a wonderful life ahead of her. I've already seen, as have all of us, in just a very short period of time here in our hospital, how much she has perked up and how much she has really just taken in all of the things that she was very likely missing.
It's just been an eye-opening all experience. And I say that because I've had the pleasure of being able to be with her almost this whole entire time. And just the people within this hospital have been amazing.
Our stories about who we are. And then there are stories about why we are. Wildaline's story, for myself, for Dr. Steinberg, for the clinical team, for the nurses, for the staff at the hospital, this is a story of why we're here.
Today she is thriving and doing great and as a new human being.
Spread through me like a wild flame. I feel it in my veins. I'll never ever be the same. I'll never be the same. Cheers to the things money can't buy. It can't buy what I feel inside. This thing I can't deny. Our pretty little paradise. It feels so good to be alive. Just you